Hey everyone, it's Triple Mango Threat or Ashley, and today I'm talking about my Prosper Tome-Bound deck, so let's jump right into it. Prosper costs 2 black-red, it's a 1/4 with Death Touch, and it has 2 unique abilities. Mystic Arcanum, so at the beginning of our end step, we're going to exile the top card of our library until the end of our next turn. You may play that card. And Pact Boon, which is whenever we play a card from exile, we're going to create a treasure token. These both work great together, and whenever we exile a card at our end step, we can see it as one more card in our hand for that next turn. Some of the cards I really want to talk about are Light Up the Stage, Commune with Lava, and You Find Some Prisoners. These are extra ways for us to get more exiled cards and even more exiled cards of our opponents and cast them as well, all until the end of our next turn. Light Up the Stage can end up costing us only 1 red mana when we deal an opponent damage earlier in the turn. I love this, and whenever our commander has Death Touch, it can make some opponents not want to block and just take 1 damage. Depending on how much mana we have, we can exile a lot of cards with Commune with Lava. I would not recommend exiling 10 plus cards unless you have the mana to cast them by your next turn, because they will be exiled otherwise. So for 6 mana total, we can have 4 exiled cards. You Find Some Prisoners. This one is a lot of fun if you like to cast your opponent's spells. It also has another option to destroy an artifact, and for 2 mana. That is a great mana cost. Normally it costs 1 and a red to destroy 1 artifact. No extra options. As for some creatures that promote exiling cards, we have Itali and Dream Pillager. Super powerful cards, and they're no joke. We have a 6/6 and a 4/4, and these are helpful in Commander. But whenever Itali attacks, we exile each player's top card of their library, and we can cast those cards for free. When we have our Commander out while doing this, we get to ramp for free while casting those spells. Wow. Dream Pillager has to deal combat damage, and when it does, we exile that many cards from the top of our library. I love this one too, and it's only a 10-cent card. Moving on to making more treasures besides using our commander, we have Grim Hireling, Zorn, and Academy Manufactor. Grim Hireling is actually really cool. I was able to swing in with my commander several times, and like I mentioned before, since it has Death Touch, this can really mess with our opponents, and they're thinking, okay, I'm taking 1 damage from Prosper, or should I lose a creature? Well, in my case, my opponent took the 1 damage, and I started getting 2 treasures from Grim Hireling, so I ramped and dealt my opponent's damage. Zorn is the Hardened Scales effect, but for treasures. So our commander can get us 2 treasures whenever we cast a spell from exile, so this is really sweet. Academy Manufactor is not making us extra treasures, but it does get us a clue token and food token in addition whenever we're making those treasures, so we can draw more cards and gain more life when we sacrifice those. Now, my personal favorite way to deal damage in this deck is with Nadier's Nightblade, Marionette Master, and Reckless Fireweaver. Whenever a token leaves the battlefield under our control, so our treasure tokens, each opponent's going to lose 1 life and we gain 1 life. Even better, Marionette Master can deal up to 4 damage to 1 opponent whenever an artifact is leaving the battlefield and going into our graveyard. But this is whenever we choose to put those 3 +1/+1 counters on it when it enters the battlefield. Reckless Fireweaver is triggered whenever we have artifacts enter the battlefield under our control. Then it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Love all 3 of these, and they do a ton of work when they're left alone for too long. The last card I want to talk about is Soul Talisman. We cannot cast this when it's exiled with Prosper's Mystic Arcanum ability. We can only cast it whenever we're given the opportunity to cast it for free. So if we cascade into it, that works, or if we suspend it for the 1 mana that's on it, we can cast it and get Prosper's Pact Boon trigger. Anyways, I wanted to mention this because I have been playing this wrong, and maybe you have too, and now you know. Thank you all so much for watching. If you'd like this deck or the pre-con, I'll have that all in the description down below. Thank you to the patrons who help support this show, and you can become one as well to help support the channel. I'll see you all in the next one.